Good morning, United Kingdom. Kabola. United Kingdom, and welcome back to another session of the Alternative Business and Property Solutions community with the infamous Lakhi Singh, the business and property fixer. So, do we have Lakhi Singh on? I think we just got him on now. Is that right? Yes. 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 Good morning, Lakhi Singh.
Good morning. How are we doing?
Good. Yeah. How you doing?
Hey, I'm all right, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy. You better know it, buddy. What's the weather like there in sunny London?
It's a beautiful, bright morning. It was quite mild, actually. So I had a nice walk through Hyde Park this morning. So
excellent.
Yeah, nice amount, about 10 degrees. Not bad for February weather.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so today's topic, we've got the guest on, a lady by the name of Sarah Brown. She's backstage, and the topic for today is the biggest property, UK's biggest property competition, which is called The One. We'll find out what that's all about. We'll have her on and she will tell us. And the saying of the week, obviously, if you follow all the rules, you obey all the rules, you're going to miss all the fun. So obviously that has a different, I mean, like most of our mottos or sayings or proverbs or to ask anybody coming on the show what they think it means to them. So before I call out Sarah, what do you think it means, Lakhi Singh? If you follow all the rules, you'll miss all the fun. What does that mean? If you obey all the rules, you'll miss all the fun. What does that mean? To you.
Well, there's a couple of different ways of putting it. I think there's a lot of teenagers that have not been following the rules with COVID-19, and they've been having some mass parties and they've been getting arrested. So I think there's a bit of a balance between following the rules and having fun. So I think, I think looking at it from more of a positive point of view, if you're too stick in the mud and very just much focused on work and just being very regimented in doing things, not really having a life and being very regulated in what you're doing. There's another saying which says, all fun and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Let me see. So, I mean, fun. If it's normal, could only be fun if it's got something it's a bit against the grain, against the rules. So I think the saying, I think, applies perfectly right to youngsters who've still got a whole life ahead of them, who may sometimes get overwhelmed by rules being brought in by government that they're not used to following because they've not even had their parents put those type of restrictions on them. And when the government said you can't go out, you're saying, well, hang on, I don't even listen to mom or dad. Who the hell are you? So I think it would apply to that instance quite accurately, I think. Now comes what fun. So to each their own, I would say. Isn't it? What is fun? To one person, fun is a different thing. To another person, it's a different thing.
Yeah, what I've done is actually I love my work. So for me, coming in at 5 o'clock in the morning and actually closing a deal, that's fun. So I'm breaking all the rules of actually coming at 9 to 5, but actually coming at, wake up at 5, get in for 6, and finish at
5 to 9.
Yeah, for breaking those rules. And actually, because I'm passionate about property business and helping people, I just, I like to have fun in my job. So every day is fun actually because I'm learning, and can't really beat that, to be honest.
Excelente, excelente. Well, there you have it. A man who loves his job. Talking of loving to have our guest on, Sarah Brown. Can we have her on? The lovely Sarah Brown with the hottest property competition in the UK. The one. Have we got her on? Sean, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Sarah, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. And whereabouts of the country are you, Sarah?
I'm in the northeast, Middlesbrough.
Northeast. Which? Pardon?
In between Middlesbrough and Redcar,
Where?
small village called Lazenby.
Okay. Lazenby, right. So I think in the middle is a nice place to be. Not too high up and not too low down. It is a nice place to be. So in the middle. And in the middle of Middlesbrough and what was the other place?
Redcar.
Redcar. Okay, cool. And is it a little market town? Is it a commercial town? Is it a seaside resort? What is it?
Seaside resort, like an old town, and Lazenby is just a very, very tiny village on the outskirts.
Okay, Basenby, and it's a small village on the outskirts of Middlesbrough. Is that right?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so you're a bit of a country girl, yeah?
I'd say so.
You've got a lovely smile. You've got a lovely energy about yourself, which shows you've got a healthy living. Do you have a healthy living? Are you living in the forest, drinking lots of milk shakes and berries and wild fruits? Or are you in the forest, guzzling down lots of cheap cider and beer?
Well, I don't. So that's no, I don't do that. I'm trying to live healthily. I'm trying really hard to lose some weight actually at the minute, and yeah, I'm trying to be as healthy as possible.
Excellent. And what I assume you're losing the weight. Well, I know it's a sensitive topic to lots of people, but you're losing your weight. Is it to get into a new dress?
No.
You got a wedding coming up. Excuse me. Is it a wedding coming up? Is it a new outfit that someone's bought you? Why are you losing weight? Why not stay with the weight you've got?
Because so health problems in the past few years, and I've boys. It's just really to make sure that I'm as healthy as possible for my family and for me here as long as I can.
Excellent.
I've some health anxieties with the issues that I've had, so make myself.
Excellent. So is it linked? Okay, so you're saying your weight is like linked to lots of other illnesses or the sort of like moods and stuff.
Yeah,
and that's an interesting topic. We've discussed it before. You should go back and maybe, I don't know if you've been following us, but if you listen to shows we've had previously, we've got a couple of experts who come on regularly, and I think the discussion was, is it the mind, is it the body, what's first, is it mind, body, or soul? and I think we were talking about the mind and the body, and we realized that maybe sometimes it is the body that needs to get good energy first, and sometimes it is a mind thing. Your mental state controls what you eat sometimes, and sometimes your physical state controls what you intake. An example is if you're really thirsty, you don't want to have a sandwich, you want to have some water, don't you? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
I think you got a bit of an internet. Yes. Yeah, you can hear that, did you? Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Okay, great. So I think is it our internet? Is it Sarah's? We've got a bit of an internet slowdown here, but we will continue in the best possible way we can. So we got Lakhi on, Lakhi Singh. We're asking the question of Lakhi Singh. What does it mean to you?
So what does what mean to me? He's frozen. You know what the question was, Sarah?
Was it in terms of health? You know, is it
He's back again now. We just missed the question. Repeating that clearly.
The question is repeated again. If you obey all the rules, so all of the rules, you'll miss all of the fun. What does that mean to you?
Is that to me or to Sarah?
That's to Sarah now, because I think we had your answer. Yours, what's it now? A grumpy old man answer. I'm looking for something which is fresh. Sarah.
Okay, so I guess if we think outside of the box, you know, and get a little bit creative, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're not following the rules, but we can certainly have some fun.
That sounds cheeky. But let's stick to the actual motto, the proverb, or whatever it is, and that is breaking the rules. But you know, let's understand what rules are we talking about. Do we not agree at each level, stage of our maturity? Because we can't talk about kids, because kids, you know, it's just a different story. But we're talking about maturity. There's lots of different rules, aren't there? The rules at home, there's rules outside the house, there are rules by the government, there are rules by your local authority, there is a rule of normal conduct, social norms, there are rules. If you break them all, or you don't obey all of them, you're going to miss all the fun. So let's give an example. A rule. Give me a rule of norm in, what was that place one? Sorry, what was the name of the place? Let's say it's a place in between Middlesbrough and, what was the place called? I can't remember. Pardon?
Redcar.
Redcar, that's right. In between Redcar and Middlesbrough, what's a normal rule for behaving on the high street? What do you expect of someone who's on the high street?
Oh, so there's a good one actually. So one rule that seems to be circulating in the village is to pick up after your dogs.
Excelente. That's gonna be okay. Have you got a dog first, Sarah?
No.
Excelente. So you don't have a dog, but are you a person who's affected by dog poo?
Yeah, definitely, because we walk to school every day, and I'm always trailing the pushchair through it. So.
Right. Okay. Too much information. But let's say you're going to go to school. You got your pushchair. You're going through all of these heaps of lights. What they call? You want to call them anti-personal minds of dog poo, and you come back You bring your pram back into the house, or do you leave it outside in the hallway somewhere?
Bring it into the house.
Ooh, it's smelly. So did you smell the poo stink in the house?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now that is okay. We now let's try and apply it. So if those people who were not obeying the rules of picking up after their dog poo, let dog poo flying around, I'd find it quite funny to see people walking around with skid marks or with big poo patches on their shoes or on their prams. I would actually use that as a funny thing to watch people go home smelling of dog poo. That's the funny side of it. But if I don't obey the rule to keep a track on my dog and make sure I pick up after its poo, is that really enjoying your fun? Or is it really me just enjoying my own selfish fun? Lakhi Singh, talking of enjoying selfish fun. Does that apply to this rule?
I'm a bit lost with this conversation, so I think we should move on. Sounds
Okay,
like
it's a bit too technical. I think it's probably a bit too technical for you. Lucky isn't the expert
I
on
talk
dog.
about property,
I listen
talking about
to
other things.
I listen to two people about dog poo all day, so I know it's not a nice rule to break. It's not a nice one of those to be break. You're actually disturbing other people, and it's awkward for people when they go home and the dog poo is stinking around the house, even if they don't own a dog. So it's not really fun. But remember, fun is a relative thing. It's something that's in your head. Something that I find funny. Sarah, you may never find funny. Do we agree upon that?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. But something that you find funny, thousands of people out there may find really funny because you've got a lovely, wonderful sense of humor. Does that make sense?
It does.
Excellent. So I think we should agree, breaking or obeying all the rules, you can miss out on the fun. I think it applies to things that don't harm people, possibly, and don't disadvantage other people, but it's more internal. It's about a rule set up on yourself, and that rule which you do yourself don't obey, and it leads to some fun, right? Like, like the example of somebody who should be sitting indoors because of lockdown, and they're saying, well, no, hang on, I want to test if this lockdown works. So they go out, they get pulled over by the police, they get a bit frustrated, a bit worried, a bit scared because they're not used to dealing with the police. But when they get let off by the police, they feel really relieved, but it's also a bit of fun because they realize that the system does work. That could be funny. Yes, Sarah? What do you think?
I guess they might find it funny.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's one to see. The question I'm trying to raise is fun is a relative thing, and rules are relative. People sometimes obey the rules too strictly. For example, I've heard of people going to see their parents and stand outside the sunroom looking at their parents from outside in the garden with a mask on because the rule says you can't stand in areas close proximity and you can't be together for more than I think is it 4 people or 6 people. So that's following the rule, but it's a bit weird. You can't take that rule and sort of literally follow it to the T, because what's the purpose of coming to your parents and watching your parents through the window like they are cage monkeys wearing a mask itself is a bit weird. So leaving that aside, let's ask you, Sarah, discussed breaking rules. Tell me about the number one. Is it the one? That's it? The one. What is all that about? Why is it the UK's leading property competition? What's that all about?
So It's a competition that I'm actually a contestant in. It's basically the prize is for one person to be personally mentored by a property guru until they become a millionaire.
Excelente. That's good. Okay. And the show is called The One.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a bit like the Dragon's Den of the property world. Is that what it is?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of been linked to The Apprentice because we've got to do lots of different tasks to show that we're like how much we want it, you know.
Okay, and is it being televised? Is it being recorded, or is it just something that's happening behind closed doors?
It's gained a lot of recognition and a lot of papers been reporting on it and radio stations. It hasn't made the TV yet, but never say never. It's a bit
Okay, that makes sense. And you could be one of the first contestants, are you saying?
Yeah, hopefully.
Excelente, excelente. Right, Lakhi Singh, what do you have to say to that? Do you think Sarah's got it? Can she be the one?
I think Sarah, is very special, and she's got the quiet composure on the outside, but inside there's about 1,000 things going on. And I think she's like a megalomaniac, I would say. She's like got about 100 different things that she's working on, and she's working very furiously to try and make it big. I think she's definitely going to be a star, and I can feel it in my bones anyway. But the other thing I wanted to say about the show actually is that there's another show called I'm not sure what it's going to be called, but it's run by a guy called Grant Cardone, which is being launched on Netflix, I think, which is about a guy who's a billionaire in America in property. He's meant to be one of the biggest guys there.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's amazing. Undercover Billionaire.
Yeah, that's the one.
No, this is a different one. It's a different one. It's a different one. What they do is they plonk. He's going to get plonked into a village or a town anywhere around America with $100, and then he has to. He can either use the $100 or he doesn't have to, but he can use that, and he's got to make £1 million in 90 days, but using his own initiative. And so the philosophy of this guy, this is kind of cool, is that every day is a 0 day. So he assumes he's not going to make anything got nothing. He's got starting with nothing is how he works every day anyway. And then his objective is to try and make much as he can on that particular day. So this guy, when he actually landed there, apparently he didn't actually use the $100 because he didn't want to use it because it's a 0 day for him. But that should be quite an interesting show. I think it sort of reminds me of the show that you're talking about.
Okay, so like you can't remember the name of the show, but the concept is slightly different because it's harder, isn't it? You're getting real money. You're getting $100, and then you're expected to make $1 million. Well, like you said, pounds. I expect it means dollars. $1 million, and you have to do it in 90 days. That is real serious jiggery pokery, isn't it? What do you say, Sarah?
Yeah.
Did you make $1 million in 90 days?
I guess it's about having the right connections, isn't it? So that's one that they go off to do. They go and try to find people that they know can help them. And there was a show that it was the same show but with somebody else last year, and he did so well. He did something to do with like a brewing company, and he didn't actually make it to the target, but it was really amazing to watch him, finding those connections and everybody helping each other. And they didn't know, obviously, that he was a billionaire, but yeah, it's just amazing.
I think what Sarah's saying is, and what's correct, is that when you are a billionaire, or a millionaire, you automatically have connections, don't you, Sarah? That's what you're really saying. It's all right to tell somebody who's, you know, is only working in a little till, you know, on the till, make $1 million out of 100. But when you've got somebody who's already got the connections, just, you know, creating a big hoo-ha, drumming people up to do business is probably easier. Is that right? Is that what you're saying, Sarah?
I suppose so, but when they did that show, they weren't around other like billionaires and people with lots of money. They had to, you know, use their other skills, you know, to help them to make that money. So they had to start afresh with all new connections, didn't they?
Okay, I don't know because I've not seen it.
Oh.
So that's what they've done. That's really amazing. That is amazing. Okay.
But just leading on from that, so in this competition, one of the assignments that I have to write is how would I turn £1 million into £10 million? So I wondered if I could call on your expertise and maybe you could share a few ideas with me.
Excellent. I think for that, Lakhi Singh, as a gesture of wonderful goodwill and a lot of love, Lakhi Singh, could you give Sarah your time to be able to give her some ideas how you would turn 100 into $1 million? Lakhi Singh?
I think she said $1 million to 10 million, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that $1 million to 10 million is a lot easier.
Right, even better, that's right.
So I'll give you a couple of 4 or 5 different strategies that a lot of billionaires use. And I know this for a fact because I know their advisors, okay? So I can't really tell you exactly who this particular company is. But let's just say they're worth about 5 billion. They're based in London. So one of their consultants is actually a very good friend of mine. So their particular strategy is that with the million, what they do is they're always looking. This is a term called bimbo. Have you heard of it?
No.
This is not a joke, by the way, but it sounds like he's getting into a joke. So
Bimbo.
It's called buy-in bimbo. So I can think of about 5 hardcore strategies which you can use to try and get that sort of return. So I think the major question is really going to be what time scales you've got to do it. Is there a time scale or is it based upon whatever time? So if you've got time, then it's a lot easier, of course. But if you've got 90 days to do it, then that's a bit different. Then you have to use different strategies. So number 1 strategy is that you find companies which have got a poor management structure, but they've got potential in a particular sector which you know is growing. And if you take them to the market by launching them onto some sort of market, then their valuation will be a lot higher because of the quality of the multiples on their spreadsheet. So it all comes down to the numbers. So what you would do go in is that you target certain sectors which have got higher multiples. Let's take, for example, the tech industry or the online retail industry. That's really big at the moment because you know that you're going to hit the multiples. So you find maybe 5 sectors, maybe choose one that's going to have the highest multiple in terms of a multiple in their valuation, and then you simply go in and audit their management team. And let's just say they're weak on senior people, you get 2 or 3 senior hard hitters in who are used to attracting money and attracting. When they do launch, they're going to have the credentials to actually know that in the city that they're big. So you put that person in, or those 2 couple of people. Then you hire the senior managers, which are also a higher pedigree. And then you basically spruce up your balance sheet and your business plan, and you take yourself to market. And you're looking at, with those, you're looking at maybe a 50 times multiple or maybe a 30 times multiple. So you're looking from $1 million to maybe 30 to 50 million in terms of what the potentials are. If you structure your management properly And then if you've got the right venture capital partners, you can bring them in and get them to actually help you to devise strategies or distribution of that product in a way that's actually cutting edge. So you can use probably about 7 or 8 different angles to just ensure that you are literally 10 out of 10 in your approach. And the acronym for that is something called PESTWELK. So these are different factors in the acronym. Each one stands for something. So political, economic, social, technological, weather, economic, legal, and I think C, I can't remember, maybe climate. So you use all of those and try to work out what are the components that you can do within that business, which is going to improve the efficiency of the supply chain of that business comprehensively. So it's quite a technical answer, but in simple terms, good management team, good spreadsheet, good forecasts, right sort of platform or industry sector, which has got the higher multiples. So that's actually just one strategy, but I could go on for hours.
Okay. I think what you've done is you put half of the audience to sleep, because that's a bit too much information in one lovely little young girl's head. Sarah, what's your background? Let's see what your background is.
So I have my first one was in psychology, my second one was in research methods, and that was my master's, and I've just finished a PhD in 2019, public health and well-being.
Public health and well-being. Wow, you got to do that in 19. That was a bit appropriate, wasn't it? Huh? What do you reckon? Right, I'm going to give you a different answer. I'm going to give you an answer that's more about what is it that you see has the ability to have rapid growth and quick return. What would that be?
In terms of property?
Yeah, no, it isn't. In terms of aspects within property, is it to do with just property, or is it to do with anything associated with property?
Yeah, anything.
Right, okay. So I'm just saying to you now, what is it that you see has the most rapid growth in the market at the moment in property? What is it? What do you see is up and coming? It's sort of like becoming mushrooming everywhere. Have you been following all the shows?
Yeah, probably service accommodation is one, isn't it?
Excellent. Good girl. You've been watching us, have you? Have you been watching us regularly, young lady?
Yeah, I have recently.
Good. Right. Service apartments. That's an up and coming new business. Now, what is it that you can do with $1 million to turn it into 10? You need to 10 times it. Now, the issue you've got is, which tool do you think allows you to outreach to maximum people in a minimum time? What tool do you think you've got?
Social media.
Excellent. 2 out of 2, young lady. If you were in my class, you'd be sitting at the front giving me apples. Yeah. Okay, 2 out of 2. So you got social media. Excellent. Now the third question. Service apartments are becoming the new thing. So what do you think within service apartments is going to be the norm that every service apartment owner is going to be looking for?
Like luxury living. Is that what you mean?
Not necessarily. Service apartments, if you've been following us, service apartments is like an in-between of a bed and breakfast and a room rent type of thing. You know, like that website called Rent My. Was it Room Rent? Is it or Let My? Pardon?
Flat share.
Flat share or Let My Room or something like that. So, pardon?
Spare room is one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's spareroom.com. So
you can.
It's an in between of a bed and breakfast and a spareroom.com. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you know you've got the growth market in service accommodation. That's a new area that people are still looking into. You know the quickest ways to get to your clientele, potential clientele, is using e-commerce. We'll call it e-commerce. That's a broader way of using the terminology, social media, you know, web-based engines, etc., and a website, whatever, all that paraphernalia. Yes?
Yeah.
And you've understood what the target market is. The target market is a bit more cheaper than a bed and breakfast, but slightly more expensive than a roomlet or whatever it's called, let my room or spareroom.com. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Excellent. Now you've got a big surge of people who are scratching around to get out of lockdown. Yes?
Yes.
What do you think these people are going to want? What's the first thing lots of people want when they come out? Like having lots of sheep locked in a pen. What's the first thing they want when they get let out?
A holiday.
Excellente. So the human sheep is want to go on a holiday. They don't have that much money. They've been given furloughs. They've saved a bit. What's the easiest way to make sure that their need is satisfied and it's not too expensive, but it takes them to a seaside resort, doesn't cost them a room rent, as in spare room, because spare room doesn't have the capacity and isn't as expensive as a bed and breakfast? What do you think is going to happen?
People are going to flock.
Excelente. So there you are. I would say to you that is probably a good option you've got to explore and make it into a business model. Does that make sense?
Yes, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. You're a lovely lady. So, Lakhi Singh, we have two options at the table. We have the clever stuff that Lakhi Singh does in the city, which is more equity, equity raising and investment strategy. And we have a more internet-based marketing, meeting the needs of the people of the time strategy. Okay? You may have sold them away an ideal idea, and they may walk away from this show making millions. And Sarah, what are you getting for the prize? Are you getting some money, or are you getting like a flower pot or something, or what?
No, so it's like a one-to-one mentorship. So it'll be where I'm given the time and the people to help me, but it's definitely not an easy there's £1 million. I'm fully expecting that it'll be hard work, but hard work.
But you've got someone to mentor you to get to that target, and I think that's quite achievable, Sarah. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You just need to be clever about your social media marketing, your branding, and making sure you've got the end user. So it could just be someone who's got a spare room, who's really taking spareroom.com but turning into a holiday bedroom. How does that sound? A new concept, not a holiday home or a holiday accommodation. It's a holiday room. How does that sound?
Amazing.
We call it the holiday room. Yes?
Yeah, I like it.
And for the real, and if you want to get really wacky and really wild, for those people who can't afford the travel to go out to the spare holiday room, you can have someone come in and stick a picture up of a wonderful island in their house to make them feel better. Yes? Yes? No?
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. It made you feel happier. Well, that's important. Okay, but I think you're on an idea there, Sarah, and that's probably what they've done it for. They're trying to tap into the expert minds like yourself to get wonderful ideas, and I think that is a genuine genuine business model that you could work on. Okay, and I think there's one our regular, I think, visitors who's doing that. Who is that, Lakhi?
Sorry, say that again, sorry?
There's one of our regular viewers who's also an attendee with us who's doing that. Who is it? Is it the lady in the Forest of Dean? Is it her or is it someone out in Newcastle, I think? Can't remember the name of the lady.
I know who it is, the lady in Newcastle, yeah.
That's right. Somebody in Newcastle's doing that, Sarah. So you can always go back and listen to all the shows and find the show we had on with a lady from Newcastle who actually does that. She actually turns and she's more in the upmarket part of Newcastle. So she's in the nicer areas in Newcastle. So she afford to put her properties out on for holiday lets, service departments. Okay.
Yeah, that's only an hour from me, Newcastle. I'll have a look.
Yeah, you could get a picture of Newcastle and put it on your bedroom wall. Make yourself feel like you're in Newcastle every time you get up in the morning. Okay, I've got shout outs. Not shouting out at Sarah. Don't mean I'm going to be shouting at you. Shout out to we've got Mandy, I think. Mandy. Who else? Gil, and we've got Rajesh, and who else? We've got John, and we've got Hazel Parker. So we've got all these people. Thanks so much for watching us. Big shout out to all these people. We've got love hearts coming through for you, Sarah. I think you started getting a lot of these stalkers following you. Probably a lot of your secret admirers. How many secret admirers do you think you've got?
Oh, not but I think there are probably some other people who are in the competition probably watching. So they're going to steal my idea. Your idea.
No, it's your idea now because you asked it. So it's your idea now. You need to get on, crack on as soon as you put the shut off the live stream. Get onto your pen and paper and get to Lakhi Singh. If it needs, you may need to go down and take out some time with him, and he'll model it all for you, give you all the little components. Okay.
Amazing, thank you.
Excellent.
There was a question I had, which is who's actually the mentor? Is it going to be VJ Sal in this show, or that's going to be doing the mentoring on the one show? I think it's going to be too expensive for them because he is actually like a secret billionaire, but he's just keeping it quiet. He just doesn't want anybody to know.
I'm just they can't afford me. That's right. Okay.
Actually, the other thing is the person that we had was a lady called Sapna from Newcastle.
That's right. A wonderful soul, very helpful. She's the type of woman who will probably sit down with you and help you chalk it out. When it comes to social media and search engine optimization and all that stuff, you'll probably need the likes of Lakhi's or one of Lakhi's companies to provide you that service. So that's when the idea rolls out. For now, to get the modeling right, you got the lady Sapna, that's right. Sapna Chadha, is that right? Sapna Chadha. You'll Google her and you'll find her. She's been on our show a couple of times. I think it's her. I don't think it's her. I think it's the lady who is in Newcastle. I forgot the name. Her boyfriend or her husband's an IT guy, and she's living in a sort of like the more upmarket part of Newcastle. I can't remember her name now, but yeah, I think it's probably one of the two. Sarah, make contact with them, and that's obviously the purpose of the alternative business and property solution community. We're not here to cloak and dagger our ideas and business. We're here to share, because you know, Sarah, sharing is caring. Yes?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I like the way you say that. Absolutely. You sound like Cheryl Cole from what's it called? The group. What's that group called? What's it called?
The X Factor.
No, not the X Factor. That's a different thing. It's a group that she was in. What was it called?
Oh.
The group. Yeah.
Yes. I should know.
You can't remember it when you need it, can you?
All these ideas.
Pardon? What did you say?
I said all these ideas buzzing round in my head now.
Okay, well, just make a note of them. You can always come back to Lakhi Singh, get his number from the Alternative Business Group, and try and give him a call, and then you can talk to him, and he'll give you as much as you need. Okay. Okay. What I'm just trying to work out is what's the name of the group, Lakhi? Pardon? 24 hours.
Girls Allowed.
Girls Allowed.
Girls Allowed. Yeah, that's the one. Girls Allowed. Yeah. Woo! Girls
Somebody
Allowed.
put it into the group, so I read it on here. So.
Okay. Woo! Anyhow, Girls Allowed. Anyhow, yeah. So you sound like her, don't you? Are you? I mean, Middlesbrough is not that far away from Newcastle, is it?
No, about an hour.
An hour. I like that. An hour. Your mum? You living with your mum?
No, I don't live with
You don't live with your mum?
my husband and 2 kids.
All right, okay. A husband and 2 kids. Well, that's like having a. It's like having what? It's like having. What's it like having your husband and 2 kids?
Like having 3.
Oh, okay. That sounds about right. Okay, talking about a kid, Lakhi Singh, please tell us then. Do you think Sarah's got it? Is she the one?
Definitely, I think our vote is for Sarah, and I think she's definitely got it. I think she's underplaying her cards. Actually, I think she actually plays the innocent, but the reality is that she's a bit of a hardcore competitor, and nobody messes with her. And I think her husband realizes, in fact, he wants to pop in and just say, "Too right, mate."
Yeah.
He's taken
Well,
the
Lakhi Singh.
now, but yeah.
Pardon?
He's just doing the school run.
Excelente. Well, Lakhi Singh is a bit like the Simon Cowell of the property world. He wears his trousers up in his chest, and he's got a funny hairdo. I think probably about right. I think his comments are probably on spot. I reckon you've got. I think you've got the energy. I don't know if you've got all the knowledge, but I think you've got the energy. And I think with someone who's going to mentor you, you'll do well.
Thank you.
So, yeah, you will. I'm sure you will. What's your background at the moment?
Then, have they given who is the mentor in this show? Is that known, or is there going to be like a panel of mentors?
It's Stephen Green, so he lives just about 5 minutes from where I live, which is quite handy.
Brought some flowers to his house tonight.
I've already cut out myself round.
Yeah, I mean,
why would she send flowers to a bloke, Lakhi?
Because she's trying to influence him indirectly to try and get her on the show.
Why would she send him flowers? Supposed to send flowers to a lady, aren't you?
That's okay. It's a gesture. It's a positive gesture.
Right, okay. Well, okay, I wouldn't send flowers to a bloke. Probably send him mince pie or something, or probably send him. What would you send to a gentleman, Sarah? What are you going to send to Mr. Green?
I've sent him a card cut out of myself, and I said, just so you can get used to having me around.
Wow, very cheeky, but just the right amount of spice. You've been like a spice girl, aren't you? If you want to be my lover, so are you gonna try and charm him with your smile and your are you gonna have the cardboard cutout do all the work for you?
No, I'm
Hello? You what?
Hello.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm in for some hard work.
You're in for some hard work. Excellent. But I think you've got an excellent model there. He's going to be well impressed. And I think you're actually going to make quite a bit of money off it.
Brilliant.
Mandy says, I'll do. I think Mandy's, already got a hand up for you. I think you've got Mandy there saying, I'll do. And she what? Right, okay. Mandy says, love it, Sarah. That's right. She's saying, love it. She thinks you're a bit of a McDonald's burger. Loving you. Yeah? Okay. Okay. Lakhi Singh, do you reckon Sarah looks like a McDonald's?
That's not a very nice question.
I don't know. I said, Mandy said she's loving her. So I'm loving it. Are you? So if everyone's loving her, is she a bit of a McDonald's? Do you reckon she's more of a chicken fillet or more of a fish fillet?
I think maybe French fries.
French fries. That's cheeky, Lakhi Singh. Slim, long, and sloppy. Yeah.
Not them yet.
Not slim yet. Oh, is that why you're dieting? Because you want to get into the clothes you're going to be wearing in the competition? Is that the reason?
No, but it'll help, won't it?
Yes. Yes, it will. Okay. What does a husband do, Sarah? What's your husband do? Is he in property? Is he a builder? Is he an MMA wrestler? What is he?
He's a mechanic, but we're both on this journey together. So he's
Excellent.
learning the same as I am.
Well, a bit of good advice for you, a bit of good news for you is we were talking about relationships very early in early part of our journey on this live stream. One of the keys to success are with both partners, husbands and wives, actually have the same interest. So you've got a good match there. If he's also interested. Because it's going to make it interesting for both of you. It's excellent. We wish you the best. I think with your husband's support, you'll go far. You will do well. You'll learn a lot, I think, by following this course. Because I think if he's a genuine man, and what's the credentials of the mentor? Because that's not what Lakhi asked. He just basically asked who it was. But what are the credentials of Mr. Green?
So he has property trade.
He sounds a bit like a rapper, Mr. Green.
Yeah. Is he the guy with the thingy, with the sparrow?
Like tattoo just there, isn't he?
Yeah, on his neck, green. Yeah, spitting rhymes. Are you giving me spitting rhymes? No?
I've never heard him rap.
Okay. So yeah, what's the background? What's the credentials of Mr. Green?
So he used to be a soldier in the army, and
excellent.
And he's been doing it for about 15 years, and now he's a mentor. He teaches people, and he does a lot to do with mindset. So, yeah.
So he's been in the army for 15 years, and what has he been doing for 15 years?
Property investment.
All right, since he's left or while he was in the army abroad?
Since he's left.
All right, okay, so he's left the army and he's been doing property investments for 15 years. So what, is he a bit of a known figure in the Middlesbrough area, is he?
Yeah, he's doing a lot. So he's been doing lots of big developments on buildings that have just been left derelict for like 20 years in the area. So it's quite, brilliant, really. Excellent.
Right. So he's quite a sharp, shrewd person. He's got like a sniper precision in the way he operates. Excelente. Right. So, right, Lakhi, we're in the last 5 minutes. Got any more shout-outs? Right, Sarah, tell me your feelings on being the one Do you think you're going to be the one? Can you give us a bit of your victory speech?
Yeah.
If you end up being the one.
I do think that I'm going to be the one. I've been doing like vision statements, you know, so I date it for a year from now, and I'll say that I'm happy and grateful that I've become the one, and I've built up a big portfolio, and, you know, just to bring it and visualize it into existence.
Right. You agree? No, so, right, okay. I'm not sure what that message means, but I will. There's someone called Nathan on the group, and he, I think, has got level 7 type of what is it, level 7 property mindset type of knowledge. I think he's probably
No, I think that's correct. I think Nathan is referring to Mr. Green in terms of
right, okay, we've got that clarity then. I've got a bit of
he's written level 7 property and mindset coach, approximately 8 million property portfolio as of recent.
excellent.
So referring to Mr. Green, the rapper. Yeah.
Mr. Green. Thank you very much for that. Okay, Mr. Green. So there you are. You got a bit more information on Mr. Green. Did you know that about him?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay, that was the important bit, because that was the bit that you missed out, because people should know who you are being mentored by, because it could all turn out to be a bit like a gentleman who runs an ice cream shop who's mentoring you on raising 1 million into 10 million. It won't work then. So we know that he's got a bit of a name for himself. Excellent. You got the right person, at least, giving you the mentoring. Lakhi Singh, what do you got to say? Do you think Sarah is the one? Do you think she's got it?
I reckon Sarah's got it. I think she's got to probably find because she's going to be working with him. I think she's got to get into his psychology of how he thinks. And I think because she studied psychology in the past, I think she's already got him sussed. But I think the main critical factor that's actually going to be the bit that she's going to surpass is really moving away from being really good communicator, but also being a deliverer, sort of like a closer of business. I think that's going to be her biggest challenge. If she works on building up that practical experience and maybe doing other things now, getting ready for it, fighting a few battles, literally starting from today. I think what Sarah should be doing is actually, she shouldn't be thinking about mentorship. She should be thinking that she is the one, and she should be teaching the world a lesson. And so today, what she should do is go out and hit a target of raising at least £10,000 just for the fun of it, because that's what it's all about. You've got to have that determination and drive, and just think, okay, I just want to make 100 grand today. I'm just going to go and do it. So,
a positive mind. Excellent. You got there, Lakhi Singh, and I reckon he's got his trousers not on his navel, but they're probably up somewhere in his chest, because the advice he's giving you is excellent. Very focused. Like I said, the Simon Cowell of the alternative business and property solution community has given you a thumbs up, Sarah. You need to be teaching everyone. Okay? Anything you got to say, your last few words? We're at the last minute of today, sadly. Please fire away. Sarah?
You've been amazing. Thank you so much for all of the advice and for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show. See you tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Lakhi Singh, the property fixer.
Sarah is the one. Sarah is the one.
Sarah is the one, yes. And you can make
it
you need to do one of those little mix signs. She is the one. And when you go in there, yeah, start singing songs and start jumping up and down on his table, yeah?
Okay.
I am the one. Okay.
Sarah, you better win, yeah, because you haven't got a choice now. You've got VJ Sal is also ex-army and 15 years actually making billions. So
Yes. Okay. We should say goodbye with that. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again on the ABS, the Alternative Business and property solutions community with Lakhi Singh, the business and the property fixer. Take care, Sarah. Take care, everyone. See you tomorrow.